What's going on, everybody? This is Zada Sports coming back to you with another WWE video. And today, we're going to be talking about a man that he had a lot of hype back in the year 2013. His name is the great Curtis Axel. And he won the Intercontinental title back in that year. And today, we're going to be discussing the time that Curtis Axel won and failed as an Intercontinental Champion. Now, Curtis Axel, we know he came from being Michael McGillicuddy. He was Michael McGillicuddy in the Nexus and all that, But eventually, he was taken off TV. I don't really remember why, but he was taken off TV, and he was came back. And on May 20th, 2013, he renamed himself Curtis Axel, and he aligned himself with Paul Heyman. And on his first night, he defeated Triple H by knockout. So, apparently they had big plans for the guy, you know what I'm saying? They had big plans for him. Not too long after that, he had a singles match against Sin Cara, building him up, getting the win over Sin Cara, which, I might make a video on in the future. And for the next couple of weeks, he faces John Cena, the WWE champion, and beats him for 2 weeks straight, due to help from Ryback, who Ryback was he was feuding with John Cena during this time period. So they were giving Curtis Axel a lot of wins. Like I said, he was getting a lot of hype during this time. On June 7th, 2013, he defeated Chris Jericho due to help from CM Punk, of course. CM Punk, of course, being a part of he was also aligned with Paul Heyman, so they had affiliations with each other. You know what I'm saying? And Curtis Axel's push, he continued on. Curtis Axel, he kept being booked strong. He was doing really good. And the next episode of Raw, he beat Triple H twice. First by disqualification, and then he beat him by forfeit because Triple H couldn't continue. Like, they were building this guy up to be, like, something, bro. Because, he was Mr. Perfect's son. So it was only natural for him to, they wanted him to reach his dad's potential. And he didn't, but, he had a chance. You know what I'm saying? And then eventually we get to Payback. And Payback, he had been getting a lot of these wins. And at Payback, he got his first championship matchup where he defeated The Miz and Wade Barrett to win the Intercontinental Championship. Shockingly, at the time, a lot of people thought The Miz was going to come out with it. But Curtis Axel actually came out with it, won the Intercontinental Championship, and then defeated Wade Barrett in a rematch. And I believe that Wade Barrett was a heel at the time. So that was, that was a little different for them to do heel versus heel. But nonetheless, later on the July 8th, on July 8th, he suffered his first loss to Chris Jericho. And he was later involved in the CM Punk Paul Heyman feud. And it was going to be a handicap match. It was going to be Curtis Axel and Paul Heyman versus CM Punk. Curtis Axel didn't want nothing to do with that shit. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want nothing to do with it. He took his ass and said, I ain't doing this shit. But then there was like, fuck no, this shit's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So, but not only did he have to do that, he lost to CM Punk at Night of Champions in that it was a handicap elimination, and he was eliminated by Punk in that match. Then later on had to defend well, it might have been before, I'm not sure, but he defended the Intercontinental title against Kofi Kingston, and he did successfully retain it. So, as far as we're at right now, he's having a really good reign, honestly. And then, but then this is where things kind of went down. He kind of just went down the card and was having random feuds with just anybody, really. And he ended up going into a feud with R-Truth out of everybody. And they ended up feuding until Battleground, where he was able to retain the championship against R-Truth at Battleground, which, that was expected. Curtis Axel getting a big push. Maybe it's slowing down a little bit, but for the most part, they're giving him a good push. He then entered a feud with Big E, and they were supposed to have a match at the Hell in a Cell 2013 pay-per-view. But Axel actually had a legit injury, so he had to be pulled from the match. They couldn't have that match. But so that match was postponed. But another note that needs to be addressed. November 15th, 2013, Paul Heyman ends partnership with Curtis Axel. Now, that, I believe, is when he really just, Paul Heyman left him. He was all by himself. I think that's where Curtis Axel's push ended. You know what I'm saying? 3 days later, he lost to Big E. Literally 3 days after Heyman ended his partnership with Axel, he lost the IC title to Big E, and he lost the rematch at Survivor Series and did not do shit again in WWE. Straight up. He didn't do shit in WWE after that. After that, he did the Rob Axel thing, and he did the Macho Man Hulk Hogan impression. That didn't go nowhere. He joined the Social Outcast, and then he joined up with The Miz as the Miz Taraj, and there was just nothing really to note during that time period, you know what I'm saying? Other than the fact that after they departed from The Miz, they became, a tag team named the B Team, and WWE actually gave him a tag team title reign. But other than that, Curtis Axel failed as an Intercontinental Champion, and I thought he could have did a lot better, but hey, that was his Intercontinental title reign and basically his entire WWE career. He was just a big case of what could have been, man. And that's going to be this video.